In this video, I want to introduce my journey with breast cancer. As I told you in our last video that the second thing that shocked me to the core was being diagnosed with breast cancer. And with my write-ups on my social media handles, I've had a lot of feedback in my inbox. And just as I said, I want to give a voice to my stories. And as a young girl, I grew up, and when I was 19, and in the School of Nursing, in one of the lessons, when the tutor was teaching us how to do self-breast examination, I realized I had lumps on both my breasts. So I decided, I was sent to the clinic. I saw the gynae, and she assured me that there was no any cause for alarm. I was 19 years old, and that time I was diagnosed with a fibroadenoma. A fibroadenoma is just a lump that is non-cancerous, and I've worked for close to 21 years, I think to be precise, with the fibroadenoma. And being a nurse, I've tried doing follow-ups every year. I see a doctor, I'm checked, I'm reassured, and I'm told it's just a fibroadenoma. So at some point I said I'm not going to continue going for these checkups, and I stayed for about 6 years. So close to 6 years I had not had a doctor's follow-up. And the lump was getting harder and it was growing, but theoretically those things we learn in class, of course, change of skin color, discharge, pain, those things were not there. So on one of the days I decided, why not just go for a checkup? And this early morning I go up to see a gynae, and he actually sends me for a breast ultrasound. When I went for the breast ultrasound, it was suspicious of breast cancer. But now, until it is confirmed, you can't actually say that you have breast cancer. So he referred me to a breast specialist, whom I actually went the very day, and after examination, he recommended that I have a mammogram, which I had to do now the following day. When I went the following day to do the mammogram, I was given a time frame of about 7 days to wait for the results. But after 4 days, the results were out, and they were suggestive of a breast cancer. So the next thing the doctor recommended was for me to have a core biopsy, which in quick succession actually went for this core biopsy. And one of those days, like Job says, that the things I dreaded most are the ones which actually happened. I dreaded breast cancer. I dreaded cancer. I had my grandmother, who was unwell for quite a number of years with jugular cancer, a very rare cancer. And what we went through with her journey for treatment, the pain she was in, the moments we had to spend on the queue at KNH, Kenyatta National Hospital. I stayed with her for those many years as she was on follow-up, and it was not easy for me. It was not easy for me. She went through the journey, the treatment, the radiotherapy, and at some point she was getting into depression. And I had to talk to one of the doctors just to give her some referral, maybe for hospice management. And at that moment, all this is going through my head. head and I'm saying, this is what I have dreaded for many years, and it has actually come. It was a disturbing moment. And just to take you back, I had worked in a ward of cancer patients, and my experience was not so nice. Those days, we did not have very good outcomes. Those days, patients would come, they go through the whole course of chemotherapy. Some of them will go down. I used to see the side effects of chemotherapy, and I would really dread. And once someone has gone through the whole process and they just don't make it, that was so devastating. And this time round, it is now me. I had to run even away at some point from medical wards, and it was just too much for me. Now here I am. I'm the one that has been diagnosed with breast cancer. That day I remember, on 24th of August 2021. It's a day I will never forget. Just like I remember vividly on 13th of June 2019 about the death of my mother. This one was coming close to that. The doctor gives me a call, and I'm very busy at work, and with the tone in his voice, I left work. I went to that particular clinic, and being a nurse, of course, the doctor had to face the screen towards me as he explained the diagnosis slowly before he reached the conclusion of that core biopsy report. But the nurse in me had already seen the conclusion of the report. I tried to hold myself as the doctor explained the meaning of that report line by line, and by the time he reached the conclusion, which I already had read, and fear had gripped me. I was shaking, I was tearing, I was afraid, and for 1 hour, I can remember so well. It was tough on me. Good enough had gone there with my uncle who had driven me to the hospital. So what I did after that information was given to me, I just did a few SMSs to a few people who matter to me. Remember, it was on a Tuesday. But it was tough. I cried. It flashed in my mind how I'm just going to follow my mother, my grandmother, who am I going to leave my kids to? And it is normal as a human being. It is normal as a human being. And sometimes denial is better. It's better because it will take you through the whole process until you reach acceptance, and you get the energy to be able to deal with whatever it is, whatever monster that it is. And it has been a journey. It has been a journey of God's grace. It's been a journey of His provision. It's been a journey of His love. It's been a journey of His mercies and His sufficiency in fullness. And when I say in fullness, in the subsequent videos, I'll be talking about what I mean by His sufficiency in fullness. So I'm very grateful for God sparing my life and giving me a second chance. Psalm 107 verse 2 says that let the redeemed of the Lord tell their story. And I hope that I'm going to inspire someone with this journey in the subsequent videos. I am thankful to God. It is by His grace, it is by His mercies that I was not consumed. It has actually been a journey. The long journey began, the journey of treatment, the journey of faith. And I have indeed seen the Lord, because the first part of it was, how do I deal with the diagnosis? And after the Lord helped me to deal with the diagnosis, the second part was, I know how treatment of cancer is very expensive, and it was my prayer that God will provide. It was my prayer that I will not be in any form of lack for the treatment, for the hospital visits, for the diet that was just about to change, for whatever it was that was surrounding now the new situation, the new normal that I was just about to enter in. And I thank God. I thank God for the people who've been there in my life. I'll be talking about them in the subsequent videos. And wounds don't tell good stories. Wounds don't tell good stories. But scars do tell the story. And I know I now bear the scar of being able to tell a good story, hoping to inspire someone.